Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Fully Off, and in today's episode I'm going to show you how to build an infinite villager breeder that works in Minecraft 1.8. So without further ado, let's crack on with the build. So for this build you're going to need at least 3 villagers. One of them has to be a farmer, otherwise this just will not work. You're going to need some blocks of choice. We're using quartz. You're going to need some glass. You're going to need some water. Some trapdoors, signs, normal doors, sticky pistons, glowstone and redstone, and a few repeaters. So firstly we're going to make the area where the villagers are going to breed in. So you'll need to dig a trench that is 2 deep and 6 long. You're going to need to put glowstone in the bottom. You don't have to, but it brightens the place up and obviously stops mobs from spawning. And you're going to need to fill the trench in with water. Then we need to put glass around, making our area for the villagers to spawn in. Then once that's done, we need to till the ground. Once that's done, we'll put in the sticky pistons. Now the pistons create a trap door that allows villager children to run through it once they've been born. But we need to keep it closed to start with. The more villagers that are in the spawning area in there, the more children are going to be made. You don't have to have the sticky pistons in there. You can throw your villagers in to start with, but if you've only got the 2 to start with, they can only breed every 10 minutes, so it's best to keep this door closed and spawn as many villagers as you can, let them grow up into adults, and then you can open the trap door and start allowing baby villagers to go through. And then you need to put 6 sticky pistons at the bottom facing upwards and cover those with your blocks of choice. Then we need to make an area around the back of the holding area that the baby villagers will fall into when they're born. So we need to dig a trench behind where the sticky pistons were. And we need to put water in the bottom. You can see where we're going here. The baby villagers will spawn, they'll run about like they naturally do, and they'll run over the edge into the water. Now to ensure that they do run over the edge, you need to put trapdoors on the back. This fools the villagers into thinking there's a solid block there and they'll run otherwise they won't run over the edge. Then they'll run over, fall into the water and get channeled down to the bottom. To there. Then we need to build a wall around the back of the holding area. We need to add a little bit of light in the back as well. If you don't have access to glowstone, you could use torches. I prefer using glowstone. Now we need to raise this building up 6 blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on here is where we're going to be putting the doors that the villagers will think is a village. Obviously villagers will not make new villages until there is a valid village, and a valid village is dictated by wooden doors. So we need to cover the front of this with glass. And then surround it using our blocks of choice. And in here we put our doors. Now to make this qualify as a village, we need to have more blocks on one side of the doors at the top than we have on the other side. That fools Minecraft into thinking that it's a house. As long as there is more blocks on one side than there is on the other, it constitutes a building, and Minecraft will consider it to be a house. So we need to build this roof out now. 4 blocks, 5 blocks, all the way along. Right, so now we need to get the villagers into our building and our holding area, but before we do that, we'll just create the water system that will allow us to eventually take the baby villagers away from here and transport them over to wherever you want them to go to. In order to do that, we need to make a column just here. So we need to do that by placing a block there, blocks there and there. Then we need a sign there, block there, and then we need to fill this out. Now you can fill this out using glass so you can see inside if you want to make it look nice. Like so. Glowstone in the top for lighting. And then we just need to put some water in here. Now these have to be water source blocks. You can't just put water there and let it flow down. The baby villagers or villagers cannot swim through moving water. It has to be a solid water source block. So we need to put one in there. We need to put a sign there, and then we need to put another water source block there. So now I can't swim in water, So now you can probably see what's going to happen. The villagers will spawn baby villagers. They will run over and fall down here. They'll be transported down to the bottom as babies, and once they've grown into adults, because there's water there, they'll jump up and down. They'll jump up, they'll be caught in this water source block, they'll be transported up into here, and then we can transport them from here to wherever you want to take them to. Now the next step is to get the villagers into here. Now there are several ways you can get villagers into wherever you want to get them into, but the minecart system is probably the easiest. So you need to get your villagers into some minecarts like we have done, and then we need to put some tracks around where we want to take them to. Now bear in mind that one of the villagers in the bottom has to be a farmer. This will not work. Please don't leave comments at the bottom saying it doesn't work. It will not work unless you have a farm at the bottom. The farmer will plant and harvest crops and feed the other villagers, which makes them willing. Since the 1.8 update, villagers have to be willing to breed. I'm sure you know this anyway, but there are a couple of ways to make them willing. You can either trade with them, and you don't want to be doing that, running backwards and forwards, or you can feed them. Again, you can feed them manually, or you can get the farmer to feed them for you. So as I say, the villager in the bottom, one of them has to be a farmer. That's one in. I could have used a spawn egg and chucked them in really quickly, but obviously that wouldn't have shown you how to do it. Most people will know how to do it, but if you don't, then this is how you do it. You do need to get, though, before we do, schoolboy error, you do need to put blocks here to stop this. To stop exactly this. Now, come on fellas, get out. And you. I need you out. You're not going to go out, are you? You are. Come on. Let's have you. Let's have you out. Don't make me beat you. If it wasn't for the fact that you were a farmer, I'd have beat you by now. Okay, give me a minute. I'll get this guy where it's supposed to go and I'll get back. Okay, so we've got the two villagers in the bottom and they're ready to go. Now we need to get the third villager into the top by the doors. And this is very, very important. A village is not a village without a villager in it. You can have as many doors as you want, as many roof blocks as you want, but unless you've got a villager next to the doors, this won't work. So now we need to get these tracks up to the top. Obviously I'm in creative. You can do this in survival, it's not difficult. It's just obviously easier when you're flying. Now you are going to need to break. You are going to need to break those doors, otherwise the minecart won't fall in. Now it's just a case of pushing this fella up the tracks. As long as you stay reasonably close behind him, and as long as you put tracks down to start with, then he will go up. There you go. Then break the minecart, replace the doors. Replace the doors. And that's it. Now the last thing to do, once we've got rid of the tracks, is we have to give the farmer villager at the bottom some food to get him started. Now I found that the best food to give them is carrots, and you only need a few stacks, 2 or 3 stacks. I think the more the better, but you can certainly get started on 3 stacks. So if you're throwing 3 stacks of food, the farmer will pick it up and start planting. Now, while he's doing that, we need to wire up the pistons underneath to create the trapdoor. So we need to dig down just this side of the pistons. Like so. And then put repeaters leading into the blocks at the bottom. We need redstone coming out of the repeaters. Like so. And then we just need to wire that up to a switch. So we cover this with our blocks of choice, and then cover this with floor blocks, and then here we need to put a lever. There you go. So we keep that closed until we have as many villagers in there as we want. Now you can do this with 2 villagers if you want, but as I say, they will breed every 10 minutes or so and only create 1 child. So if you do that, then it's going to be slow going getting villagers. Or alternatively, leave the trap door closed at the back and get 10 or so villagers in there, and obviously the more villagers in there, the faster they're going to breed. As long as there's only 1 villager up here and there are still 6 doors, Minecraft will assume that this village still needs another villager, so it will continue to keep breeding as long as the villagers are willing. and as I said, to keep the villagers willing, they need to be fed. So the last thing to do now is to open these trapdoors. And then we just sit back and wait for the magic. Now once the villagers have started breeding and we've opened the door there and they've started being funneled into the holding area, there is a way of getting them out of there without having to mess about and letting them go. What you're going to need is a dispenser. Now make sure it's not a dropper, it needs to be a dispenser. This is dispenser. Get a dispenser. And then you need to put it just here. Okay. And then cover the glass back up again. Then we'll need to dig underneath this wall. Place in a repeater. A little bit of redstone. And we need to put a button just here. It needs to be a button, it can't be a lever. And then cover the rest up with dirt or whatever your flooring is. And then we need to put a bit of water in there. So now you've thrown water into there. If you come around the front, click this button, it dispenses the water and it will push everything over to this side. Click it again, water goes away. So if you put some rails there and a minecart, and we get a villager inside, which we will do using a spawn egg. Obviously once these guys start breeding and making little villagers, there will be villagers in there. But for demonstration purposes, if we get a villager in there like this, we can then click the button, it pushes him over to this side, push the minecart down, and hey presto, he appears in the minecart. So that's how to get them out of there, and only one obviously will be transported into the minecart at a time. So that's how you get them out of there. Click it again and it goes away. Now as long as these guys are fed, they will continue to breed. So there you go. That is my villager breeder that works in Minecraft 1.8. If you like the video, please leave it a like, and if you really loved it, please subscribe for future episodes. I've been Fully Off, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.